Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I want to give call Lord Yahweh, and we do so by Shem Yahushua. That's all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High God, Yahweh, in the name of His only begotten Son, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. It's your brother Hatazan coming at y'all with another lesson, man. Today we're going to talk about endurance. What is it to endure? The definition of endure is to suffer or to hold out, to bear the burden of. You know what I'm saying? I got a couple precepts I'm gonna dive into real quick. Ain't gonna be too lengthy. I'm still on the clock, but gotta work while I'm at work because this is the most important work. You know what I'm saying? First scripture we're gonna dive into is the book of Matthew, chapter 24 and verse 13. And it reads, "But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved." So we gotta bear that burden of those curses that we're under, according to the chapter of Deuteronomy 28, the book of Deuteronomy chapter 28. We got to bear the burden of those curses. And while we're doing so, we have to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and continue to bear that burden until that number is sealed, until those prophecies play out. You know what I'm saying? Then, at the end, we'll receive salvation. We got to endure to the end. You know what I'm saying? Until those prophecies play out and that number is sealed, we're going to have to continue to endure. So that's why we hit the streets, and that's why we make these videos, because surely oppression maketh the wise man mad, angry. You know what I'm saying? So we got to reach out to our people who might be the ones that we need to wake up to get that living bread and that living water, so that number be sealed, so we can get out of the predicament that we in. Second scripture we're going to jump to is Mark chapter 4 and verse 17. And it reads, "And have no root in themselves, and so endure but for a time. Afterward, when affliction or persecution ariseth for the word's sake, immediately they are offended." We got to make sure that, we praying that the Most High don't remove that spirit from us, and that everything that we're doing in this walk is out of sincerity. Because if it's not, you know what I'm saying, once we hear that gospel, you know what I'm saying, which is music to our ears, and we get that why factor to understand that this is why we go through what we go through every day, and you're not sincere about what you're doing 1,000%, you know what I'm saying, then, when you got a problem, you're gonna be like, oh man, I gotta take a break, I gotta do this, I gotta do that. You got every excuse, but let me go ahead and endure and keep this thing going. You know what I'm saying? Because it's a shameful thing to return back to your vomit. You know what I'm saying? And I don't want brothers to take this the wrong way, but I'm not necessarily, saying that when you leave a camp, because you don't have to be in the camp to make it into the kingdom. You just got to keep the law, statutes, and commandments and teach others to do so. You know what I'm saying? Hit the highways and byways, and compel the lost sheep to the Father's house, so His house be filled. You know what I'm saying? And that scripture we're gonna get is matter of fact, let me see, is there more on that? Let me see, James 17, 4 and 17. I mean, oh yeah. So when the affliction or persecution come your way, you know what I'm saying, you're gonna keep fighting it. You're gonna be strong, or you're gonna lean on your Akim, you know what I'm saying, on your brotherhood, and they're gonna help you get through it. Like it said in Ecclesiastes, 2 are better than 1, for they have a greater reward. But one fall, the other one can pick them up. And you know what I'm saying? So just make sure that you're not, hype or fanned out, you know what I'm saying, to be in the truth, and in order to be in the camp. Make sure you're enduring to the end. Make sure you're always leading by example. You know what I'm saying? These are core things. You got to make sure that you deep rooted in this thing for real, and not just shallow, because when that wind comes, which would be the persecution. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna get blew away. You know, who knows if you're gonna make it back? You're gonna be like Jaheim, trying to find my way back. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be like that, man. That's a bad thing. Let's jump to Mark 13 and 13 right quick. And this is the book of Mark, chapter 13 and verse 13. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. You know, and there we see it again. Endure to the end, and you're going to receive that salvation, that crown of life. You know what I'm saying? So, man, hey, when you out here teaching this thing and you living right, and, you know, some people who are ignorant to the fact of, or, you know, want to be funny, or, you know, want to kind of try and put you last, but they don't even know why. You know what I'm saying? You being hated for the name's sake of, you know what I'm saying? Because you're pushing peace for prophecy. You know what I'm saying? You're telling your people to repent and return back to the law, statutes, and commandments, to call on the true name of the Most High God, the Creator Yahweh, through the spirit and power of His Son, Yahweh Shah, who the world ignorantly called Jesus Christ. Being hated for that namesake. You know what I'm saying? And you can even be persecuted or be even jailed for doing so. You know what I'm saying? We got brothers that happened to in Nebraska out doing the work and then got locked up for doing the work. You know what I'm saying? That even happened to Kahan before as well. You know what I'm saying? It done happened to a few brothers. It happened to a Gadite brother, Monicum. You know what I'm saying? That happened to a few brothers just, you know, for, you know, pushing the truth, being hated for the name's sake of. Let's jump to 2 Timothy chapter 2 and verse 3. Here we are again, and it reads, Thou therefore endure hardness as a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. So these hard times, these tribulations, you know what I'm saying? We gotta keep fighting through them, being a good soldier of Hamashiach Yahweh Shah. You know what I'm saying? A good soldier of Yahweh. You know what I'm saying? You gotta fight. You gotta fight through them. You gotta keep fighting. You can't give up. You know, we gotta persevere. We gotta persevere through this thing all the way until the end. You know what I'm saying? And go ahead and get that reward. Let's jump to verse 10 in that second chapter. And it reads, Therefore I endure all things for the elect's sake, that they may also obtain the salvation which is in Hamashiach Yahweh Shai with eternal glory. You know what I'm saying? So we enduring to the end, getting that salvation and getting that glory for forever. You know what I'm saying? That glory is forever. It's eternal. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta keep fighting, no matter what, when, if, and how, anything. Keep repenting, returning back to the law, statutes, and commandments, having faith and calling on the true name, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shah. You know what I'm saying? And teaching others to do so as well. No matter what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump to 2 Timothy chapter 4 and verse 3. And it reads, For the time will come when they will not endure sound doctrine, but after their own lust shall they heap to themselves teachers having itching ears. You know what I'm saying? You got to pray every day that the Most High don't remove the spirit from you. You know what I'm saying? Don't boast about the knowledge. Don't boast about the wisdom. Don't boast about the understanding. You know, still, you got to practice humility always. You got to still remain humble. You got to still be meek. You know what I'm saying? Because you, once upon a time, you didn't know until you came into the knowing of. So just because somebody don't know, you can't rag them out. You know what I'm saying? If they don't want to concede and they cut. You know what I'm saying? But don't do too much. You know, and we see it. Sometimes brothers, they have sound doctrine, and then they lead their studies of the sound doctrine and they go teach Negro only, OT only. You know what I'm saying? We supposed to teach the truth only. Supposed to abide by the truth only. The law, statutes, and commandments only. All that other stuff is obsolete. You know what I'm saying? You got sound doctrine, stay there. This ain't no pick a side type thing. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump to. Let me see. Hold on. Let's give verse 5 as well. Oh no, matter of fact, we can still go to 4. And it reads, and they shall turn away their ears from the truth, and it shall be turned into fables. That's a horrible thing. You know what I'm saying? I watched a video that you know Chief was debating these guys, and they was talking about that they couldn't die. Talking about we in the new covenant, they couldn't die, and all of this, like it was madness. You know what I'm saying? And they've been in the truth for a long time. So the Most High make a fool out of your ass if you ain't doing what you're supposed to do. You gotta constantly look in that mirror, check the mote in your own eye, repent and ask for forgiveness every day. You know what I'm saying? And be merciful to your people as you would want the Most High to be merciful to you, because He's already done that abundantly. You know what I'm saying? But even more, verse 5. But watch thou in all things, endure afflictions, do the work of an evangelist, make full proof of thy ministry. Hit these highways and byways. You know what I'm saying? Study to show yourself approved. When somebody come up challenging, make sure you deny it every time. You know what I'm saying? Cut that off. Camp, cut it off. You know what I'm saying? And show them book, chapter, verse. This is why. Because the truth is the why factor for everything that we're going through, everything we're gonna go through. You know what I'm saying? Let's jump to Hebrews right quick. Hebrews chapter 12 and verse 7. Fire. If ye endure chastening, God dealeth with you as with sons. It's a lot. For what son is he whom the Father chasteneth not? You know what I'm saying? You got kids, you're going to worry about the kids in your house. You're going to deal with your kids how you deal with your kids. You ain't going to deal with little Tommy and them out and Warren doing whatever the hell they want to do. You know what I'm saying? Because them ain't your kids. You're going to deal with the ones that, that are of your loins. The ones that are of your household. You know what I'm saying? So if you taking care of the fatherless, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever, because we under curses, they might not even be fatherless. Their father just might not be in their life. They might still be alive. But if you taking care of them, you gonna deal with them differently how you deal with the mother kids out there. Because them your sons. And that's how it is with the children of Israel. The Most High, he chose us. You know what I'm saying? Deuteronomy 7:6. He chose us. So he gonna deal with us differently than how he deal with everybody else. But the way he not gonna let them, just continue to treat us any kind of way. All right, enough is enough. Now they got to get what they got coming, and it ain't no way around it, because his judgment is like a ring with no slap. All right, let's jump to verse 20. As a matter of fact, let me see. No, we ain't got to get verse 20. Let's jump to James right quick. James chapter 5 and verse 11. Behold, we count them happy which endure. Ye have heard of the patience of Job, and have seen the end of the Lord, that the Lord is very pitiful and of tender mercy. You know what I'm saying? We seen that account of Job and what Job went through all that affliction, and then how he still came out. We seen the affliction of Jonah and how Jonah came out of that affliction, enduring. You know what I'm saying? Enduring to the end. That's perfect examples. You know what I'm saying? Even though those accounts are extremely old, you could just compare that to something that you go through on a daily basis, or something that is possible that you could go through. Because they damn near went through the impossible and still came out. You know what I'm saying? Enduring, calling on the Most High. You know what I'm saying? Crying out to Him. All through affliction. So we gotta endure. Perfect examples. Let's jump to Peter chapter 2 and verse 19. And it reads, "For this is thankworthy, if a man for conscience toward God endure grief, suffering wrongfully." You know what I'm saying? That's thankworthy. You know what I'm saying? Just that type of endurance. If you enduring that wrongfully, that's thankworthy. You know what I'm saying? Because your mind and your heart is still set aright to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Most High, and to be obedient. You know what I'm saying? To keep those laws, statutes, and commandments, and to endure, and not complain. To still do what you're supposed to do. That's thankworthy. I got a couple more. A couple more fire ones for y'all. You feel me? Just jump to Sirach. These right here, man. I mess with that 2 and 4. We're gonna start at Sirach chapter 2 and verse 2. And it reads, matter of fact, we're gonna start at from the top of Sirach verse 2, chapter 2, Salat. "My son, if thou comest to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. Set thine heart aright, and constantly endure, and make not haste in the time of trouble. Cleave unto Him, and depart not away, that thou mayest be increased at thy last end." Verse 4, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when thou art changed to a lower state." Man, that's so much fire right there. I really don't even need no breakdown. I'm just gonna no, I'm gonna do it. So, it say, when thou come to serve the Lord, prepare your heart for temptation. Like, you gonna be tempted, but you gotta keep fighting, and you gotta keep enduring. And it say, set your heart aright and constantly endure. This is every day until the end. Every second, every minute, every hour, every day. Endure to the end, cleave unto the Most High, and don't part away. Stay there. Stay there. That's the best place you could be. That you may be increased at the end. And then whatever you go through, it say, "Whatsoever is brought upon thee, take cheerfully, and be patient when I was changed to a lower state." Whatever comes to you, you know what I'm saying? You gotta, like a boxer, take it on the chin and keep fighting. Pause, because I know a lot of people watching this might say something crazy, but you gotta, whatever is put on your plate, whatever is put in front of you, you gotta take cheerfully. You know what I'm saying? You gotta keep going. You gotta keep going, rolling with the punches, going to the next thing. You know what I'm saying? And let me get this. It's the last one, man. It's the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12 and verse 13. "Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep His commandments, for this is the whole duty of man. For God shall bring every work into judgment with every secret thing, whether it be good or whether it be evil. The Most High God's eyes is 10,000 times brighter than the sun. You can't run, nor can you hide." You know what I'm saying? Fear God and keep His commandments. That's the whole duty of man. And with that, I'd like to get called Hello Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah. Shalom.